Yes, the thumbnail is true. Nitara can easily get 60% damage combos. In fact, you could argue that Nitara has the best damage combos in the game in terms of consistency. Literally any combo she lands can deal 40% damage or more. But the problem is most players are using her wrong. They're playing Nitara incorrectly. This character has incredible mobility and crazy high damage, but even so, ignorant players will still tell you she's low tier, she's bad, but you know what? They're wrong, and today I'm gonna prove it. I'm going to explain why Nitara is secretly god tier. If anyone ever tells you that Nitara is bad, then you show them this video, and without any further ado, let's begin. Okay, so first up, let's talk damage. As mentioned earlier, Nitara's damage is not only high, but it's also consistent. This low mix-up, 40% damage. This overhead mix-up, over 40% damage. This regular punish combo, over 40% damage. This character feasts on the opponent's life bar, which makes sense, she is a vampire. But let's start off with the low mix-up, because so many players think you need a cameo to combo off this thing, which is not true, and you also don't have to risk a very unsafe special move either. Instead, the best way to combo off this low is to cancel into her anti-air and then do the EX dive kick immediately afterwards. Even if you don't use a cameo, just look at this damage, it's crazy. Boom, we're getting almost 40% damage, and that was no cameo and just 1 bar of meter. If you do want to use a cameo, just check this out, so good. Yo, check this out, we're getting over 42%, just 1 bar, 1 cameo, and Sonya's almost recharged already. Fantastic damage for a low mix-up, and keep in mind that this low is unreactable at 13 frames. But do you want to know the best part? This combo starter gives you time to see if the low lands. After doing the anti-air, if you notice the opponent's blocked, just do this. Fly straight down, and you can block almost immediately after landing, or instead go for a jump in on the way down. Even if blocked, you're at plus frames, and if it lands, you get a full combo. But you might be thinking, underdog, what if they anti-air me on the way down with a standing 1 or an uppercut? Well, in that case, start doing the EX dive kick. This will snuff everything your opponent goes for outside of armored attacks. And like you saw earlier, if this dive kick lands, the opponent's losing over 40% health. So yeah, the damage is definitely worth the risk every now and then. And then on top of that, you can also change which direction you fly. Yes, this will cost 1 bar of meter, but the cool thing about Nitara is, because her combos can use cameos alone, you're always going to have meter lying around to burn anyway. And as long as you keep mixing up which direction you fly, it's going to be tough for the opponent to anti-air you or punish you consistently. And then finally, if you want to be really careful, you can just use cameos like Goro to keep you safe every single time. If timed correctly, the opponent can't punish you for any mistake if you have cameos like that. You get the idea. This combo starter is insane. It gives you a ton of time to hit confirm. There's a bunch of ways to keep yourself safe or just keep the pressure going with a jump in. There's honestly so many fantastic things about this combo starter. But I get it, you're a Mortal Kombat player, you want 50-50s. Well, you're in luck. Nitara has an overhead. Now, is it reactable? Yes, absolutely. But here's the good news. It goes really far and can also avoid a bunch of low attacks because Nitara is so high in the air. And then finally, for the cherry on top, you can hit confirm it. That's right, you don't have to risk anything with this move. You can wait to see if it lands and then cancel into the EX dive kick for a full combo. And you guessed it, just like with the overhead, you're going to get a ton of damage even if you don't want to summon a cameo. Look at this, 40% for an overhead mix-up that also avoids lows. Really awesome. Oh, and it's also good for whiff punishing too, because you can poke the opponent, back up, and then go for it and whiff punish a bunch of stuff. So it's good for that too. But of course now you gotta see the cameo combo, right? Well, here you go. If the corner's not nearby, here's what you're gonna get. Around 44%, fantastic. But now, if you're a bit closer to the corner, check this out. Now it's really time to feast. And by the way, this works for most combos if the corner's nearby. Oh my god, almost 50% for 1 bar and 1 cameo off an overhead. Yeah, this character is nuts. Why aren't there more people playing this character? You can hit confirm this thing. There's no risk to doing it. You can also go for a double dash if you want. The combo's gonna be a bit reduced, but if they block it, you can go for plus frames off this jump in. It's really, really good. But now finally, it's time for one of my favorite combos, and it comes off of Nitara's regular punish. This move right here, 7 frames. The fastest any punish can be in the game, with the exception of Kung Lao and Liu Kang. For some reason they have a 6 frame, I have no clue why, but for literally everybody else, 7 frames is the fastest attack in the game. And guess what? This punish combo does crazy high damage even if you don't have a cameo around. Check this out. Boom, boom, ba boom. Boom, boom, dive kick. Boom, 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 double bounce, bomb, bomb, bomb. Look at that corner carry, and we're getting 44%. No cameo, 1 bar of meter off your best punish in the game. It's crazy fast. Beta wake up, punish them with this, 44%. Whiff an attack, punish them with this, 44%. Go for an instant overhead into this combo. You get the idea. Tons of damage off this regular punish, and all it takes is 1 bar of meter. But of course, even if you don't have the meter, you can just use a cameo instead, and as long as the corner's nearby, you're gonna get a crazy amount of damage. Oh my god, over 40%, 42%. So a bit less than spending 1 bar, but keep in mind, it only cost a cameo and she's already refilled again. This character is feasting. But I bet by now you're ready for the Fatal Blow combo. You want to see that 60% combo that you saw at the very start of the video. Well, I'm gonna show it to you, but first you have to understand this move. The Blood Sacrifice. It costs 1 bar of meter, but in exchange, the opponent is constantly losing health, and to make things even better, it's going straight to Nitara. And that's why Nitara's low health value does not matter. For anyone not aware, Nitara has the lowest health in the game, but it doesn't matter because she's constantly getting the health back. Look at this. The opponent is dying while I'm comboing them, and their health is going right back to me. It's fantastic. And for the cherry on top, get this. If you land her flying bite attack, you get a huge boost in life. Now, the only dumb thing is it does cancel the Blood Sacrifice. I kinda wish NetherRealm would change that and just have it be on a timer, but as it stands right now, you want to wait until the end of Blood Sacrifice to go for the bite, because that way you get the most health back possible. Anyway, you get the idea. If you want to reach that crazy high damage Fatal Blow, it's gonna cost you 2 bars, and you also need the Blood Sacrifice activated. So with that in mind, here is the crazy high damage Fatal Blow combo, and keep in mind that there's not many characters in Mortal Kombat 1 who can get damage like this, okay? Nitara is in a top tier league of damage. Oh my god, look at that, 60%. And keep in mind that this combo is practical. I understand some characters like Kenshi and Johnny Cage, if everything goes right and they stack all their buffs, all that nonsense, they can get over 60%, but it's rarely gonna happen, okay? It's just not practical. Nitara though, her combo is practical. It is not difficult at all to activate Blood Sacrifice and then open your opponent up for a full combo into Fatal Blow. It's actually really easy to do and very likely to happen. But now finally, to end this video, I want to talk more about Blood Sacrifice, because this right here is the main thing players are missing about Nitara. They end the combo with this because they want max damage, and that can be fine in some situations, but look at the spacing. Nitara does not have a projectile outside of Blood Sacrifice, and even then, it's not a great projectile. The damage is decent, and it can start combos, but it's really slow on startup, and realistically is not going to land very often. And that's why it's much better to end your combo with the dive kick. Not only does it leave you close, but you have more than enough time to go for the Blood Sacrifice, and you're still in the opponent's face. You can go for an overhead, you can go for a low, you can fly over their head, go for an instant overhead. You get the idea. There's so many options here. If done correctly, your opponent's life bar is going to melt, and you're going to be constantly healing the entire match. Yes, the dive kick does slightly less damage than the bite, but it leaves you close and guarantees the Blood Sacrifice, so it's a really, really good option. In fact, some pro players like Sonic Fox will whiff the dive kick and still do Blood Sacrifice because Nitara recovers so quickly. The instant her feet touch the ground, you can do Blood Sacrifice. In fact, even her throw gets buffed. Check this out. Normally it does just 110, right? Now it's doing almost 140. That is crazy. I think it might even buff the cameo throw a bit. Not a lot, but it's going to do a bit more damage. Yeah, normally it's just 130 or 140, but now it's doing 150 because that tiny bit of blood at the start gave Sonya a slight damage boost, right? Look at that. Boom, 150 for a regular throw is pretty good. Ooh, and since we're already talking about throws, I want to mention one more thing. Nitara can fly in any direction, and this includes straight down or down forward, right? So you can jump forward, fly down forward, and then throw, and the opponent almost never sees it coming because you cover so much ground so quickly and then go for an unblockable. They're just not ready for it, man. It's crazy strong. Yeah, Nitara is really, really good. She can even combo off this move, which is super sneaky because it looks like an overhead, but it's a low, and you can combo after it. So yeah, this character just does damage. A lot of people are sleeping on her. I know that her health bar is low, okay? But it shouldn't matter because she's constantly getting health back. In fact, check this out. I'm gonna tell Reptile to hold block. This is important, okay? Keep watching, all right? I'm gonna have Reptile hold block, and look at this. He's still losing health. I should have mentioned this earlier, maybe I'll put text on screen. Even if the opponent's blocking, as long as you're close to them, you are constantly siphoning health. And that's a big deal because you can use cameos like Sonya to keep the pressure going and scare the opponent. In fact, you can actually loop this kind of stuff by tricking the opponent. Go for it again. And then throw. You get the idea. Look how much health the opponent's lost, and look how much health I've gotten. I'm not very good at the block pressure. I have not practiced it very much, but you get the idea. Even on block, this move is really strong. Use blood sacrifice all the time. That's how you play Nitara correctly. Alright everyone, I think that's about it for my Nitara video. If anybody else has more advice for this character, please post in the comment section down below. Let's all become better with this character together. You know she's not going to be in the next game, alright? So enjoy her while you can and get good with this character, especially if you've been waiting for her to return like I have for almost 20 years now. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below. If you love Nitara, also leave a like down below. It really does help my channel out a ton. And then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.